Hi, welcome back. My name is Andy, and today we're going to go through a sequence where we're just really focusing on lengthening out through the hamstrings and just really showing the hamstrings a little extra attention today. So if you have a strap, that's handy. That's great to have, and then also 2 blocks, any other bolsters or blankets, props that you might need. Go ahead and grab those, and we'll start on our backs. So just having your strap in arm's length, we'll come on to our backs. And just take a moment here, just settling in. Maybe you have the knees bent or the legs out straight. Just anywhere where you can start to just settle in. Noticing how you're feeling in the body and in your mind. Noticing the breath. Just noticing the rise and fall of the belly. That helps maybe placing the hands on the low belly. As you inhale, feel the belly expand. As you exhale, feel the belly contract. Just taking a couple more rounds of breath here. Just really coming into the present moment. When you're ready, we'll start to draw the knees into the chest. And just give yourself a little squeeze. Maybe find a gentle rock side to side. Maybe taking the knees in a circular motion, going one way, and then the opposite way. Go ahead and take the hands behind the thighs. We'll extend both legs up and down. And go ahead and plant both feet onto the mat. And then when you're ready, let's start to extend the right leg up. Maybe interlacing the fingers behind the thigh. Let's start to point the toes and then flex the feet. Just pointing and flexing. And you're taking the ankle in a circular motion, going one way and then the opposite way. Go ahead and start to cross the right ankle over the left thigh, coming into our figure 4. And maybe just find a gentle rock side to side. Maybe placing the right hand onto the thigh and just encouraging a little deeper stretch here. Try to relax through the shoulders, relax through the face. Go ahead and just take the leg all the way across, so crossing the legs, and then just allow both knees to fall over to the right. Just a little gentle stretch here. Slowly coming back to center. Uncross the legs. Maybe a gentle tuck of the tailbone, just making sure the small of the back is pressing firmly into the mat. We'll take it into the other side. So extending the left leg up this time, maybe interlacing the fingers behind the thigh. Start to point the toe and flex the foot. Noticing the breath. We're taking the ankle in circles going one way, and then the opposite way. And we'll start to bend into the left knee, placing the left ankle across the right thigh, coming into your figure four stretch. Maybe just finding a gentle rock side to side. Maybe start to find some stillness, maybe pressing the left hand into the thigh, just encouraging, never forcing anything, just knowing this is your time. So if anytime during the practice something doesn't feel right, it's listening to our bodies. Go ahead and crossing the leg all the way over, and then taking the knees over to the left. Breathing. And slowly bring it back to center. Go ahead and cross the legs. Let's extend the legs out straight, and we'll reach the arms up overhead for a full body stretch. Just getting long and tall in every way. You're rolling out the wrist. Awesome. And then from here, if you've got a strap, we'll go ahead and start to bend into the left knee, placing the left foot onto the mat. So we'll take the strap and we'll just place it on the ball of the foot. And then just grabbing the strap with the right hand, try to relax through the shoulders. Keep a little micro bend into this right knee, and then see if you can push the heel up towards the ceiling. Option, you can keep this left knee bent if that's what serves you. If it feels okay, maybe start to extend this left leg out. Feeling a nice gentle pull behind the hamstring. And then when you're ready, we'll slowly start to take the right leg out to the side. Just as far as what feels comfortable for you. Try to keep the pelvis neutral. Can you keep this left leg nice and active, maybe pushing down into the left heel as you keep reaching out towards your right, pulling the energy out through the right heel. Slowly start to bend into the right knee and bring it back to center, extending the left leg back up. If you have this knee bent, go ahead and straighten it out. We'll take the strap in the left hand and we'll just slowly take it across the body. And again, just until you start to feel a stretch, pause there. With every exhale, can you soften? Maybe taking it a little farther. Just allowing your breath to guide you. We'll bend into the left knee and go ahead and just remove the strap. Maybe coming into another full body stretch. Noticing maybe how the right side feels a little longer than the left. We'll start to even it out. So taking the strap around the ball of the left foot. Extending the leg up towards the ceiling. And again, see if you can relax through the shoulders, pushing through the ball of the left heel. Option to keep this right knee bent or start to extend the right leg out. Taking the strap into the left hand, we'll slowly take the left leg out to the side. Maybe keeping your right hand on your right hip. Putting some energy into the right leg, pushing the energy out through the left heel. Big bend into the left knee as we draw it back to center. And then we'll extend the left leg back up. Take a little pause there. And then taking the strap now into the right hand, we'll slowly draw the left leg across the body. Just allowing the breath to guide you. Taking one more really intentional breath here. Bending into the left knee, go ahead and remove the strap. Maybe another full body stretch. And then we'll draw the knees back into the chest. Maybe find a little rock side to side. And then placing the hands behind the thighs, extending the legs up and down a few times. Maybe noticing some length that we've already started to create in the hamstrings. We'll hug the knees in. And then either roll over to a side or rock and roll all the way up to a comfortable seat. Rooting down through the sit bones, sitting up nice and tall. We'll draw the arms down by the sides, and on an inhale, let's reach it up overhead. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, release. Two more, just like that. Inhaling fully, exhaling completely. Last. Inhale, let's reach up. This time we'll draw the hands together and we'll bring them to heart center. And just taking a moment here, maybe closing down the eyes, tuning into the breath. Maybe start to cultivate your Ujjayi breath. A slight constriction in the back of the throat. If it feels comfortable. Breathing in and out through the nose. And if any time during the practice you start to lose the breath, that's okay. Feel free to find any supportive posture and come back to the breath. We'll start to flutter the eyes open. And from here, let's go ahead and come over to hands and knees, coming into our tabletop. So setting it up, pushing down into all four corners of the hands, pushing down into the fingertips. And then let's go ahead and find some circles here. So just taking the hips back, pulling the heart forward. And then we'll take it around the other side. Maybe curl the toes under this time, getting a little stretch in the feet. And then we'll come back to neutral. We'll take the knees wide, big toes to touch. Let's sink it back for child's pose. So dropping the forehead down. Maybe gently rocking the forehead side to side, releasing any tension you might be holding there. Alright, inhale, we'll start to look forward. We'll come back up to hands and knees, and we'll find some cat-cows. So on an inhale, let's start to drop the belly, pull the heart through. And then exhale, round through the upper spine. Inhale, sit bones reach up. And then exhale, round. So just a couple more here, oscillating between your cat-cow. We'll meet back in a neutral spine. Start to tuck the toes, lift the hips, coming into our first downward facing dog. Feel free to walk it out, maybe raising one heel and then the other. Go ahead and bend into the knees a lot and see if you can get the hips up a little bit higher. Maybe start to work the heels closer to the mat. And on an inhale, let's look at the top of the mat. We'll step to meet our hands, coming into a forward fold. Go ahead and drop the head here. The hamstrings are feeling a little tight. You can bend into the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Root to rise, we'll reach it up. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, right back into our forward fold. Let's go ahead and start to step the right foot back, coming into a high runner's lunge. You can always grab your blocks here and use them on either side of the foot, making sure the knee is stacking over the ankle. We'll start to drop the left knee, or right knee down, excuse me. And then from here, we'll move into half split. So coming onto our left heel, flex the toes. And we'll start to walk it back up to the top of the mat. Curl the right toes under, let's step it back, plank pose. From here, we'll drop down to the knees, and we'll meet on our bellies. Inhale your cobra pose, so your size back bend here. And then exhale, lower down. Hands and knees, curl the toes, downward facing dog. Let's take a breath. Inhale, look at the top of the mat. We'll step to meet our hands in a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Root to rise, reach up. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, right back into our forward fold. Left foot steps back this time, coming into a high runner's lunge. If you're using your blocks, try to keep the torso off of the right thigh, scissoring the thighs together, breathing, pushing back through the left heel. Moving into half splits. You've got your blocks, you can take them with you, taking them on either on the high side here, coming into half splits. Square off the hips. Inhale, let's start to look forward. Coming into our high plank, either lower down through plank pose or drop down to the knees. We'll all meet on our bellies. Inhale your cobra pose. And then exhale, lower down. Hands and knees, curl the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Let's take a breath. Inhale, let's look at the top of the mat. We'll step to meet our hands, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Root to rise, reach it up. Exhale, forward fold. Step it back, moving through a vinyasa, or you can always just step back into downward facing dog, okay? Meeting in downward facing dog in your own time. Take a breath. Right leg flies. Let's take it all the way through. Back foot comes flat. We're gonna come up into warrior two. Just taking a moment in our warrior two. We'll start to move into triangle pose. So if you want to use the block, you can place it on the outside of the right foot. And then triangle pose is actually a little shorter stance than your warrior two. So set it up, little micro bend in the right knee, taking the arms out wide. We'll start to shift the hips towards the back of the mat as we reach towards the front of the mat. Go ahead and come down if you're using your block. You've also got your shin there as a nice little support. Wherever you're at, just creating some space here. Inhale, back up. And then exhale, let's reverse. Exhale, let's windmill it down. Let it go. Taking a vinyasa or skipping and just coming back into your downward facing dog. It's your practice, it's your time, just taking what you need. When you're ready, left leg flies. We'll take it all the way through. Back foot comes flat, warrior two. Moving into triangle pose. So it's about an inch or so shorter of a stance. Start to straighten out the left leg. We're shifting our hips back as we reach the left arm forward. Gaze can come to the right hand, but if that's too much on the neck, you can just look down at your left foot. Inhale, back up to center. Reverse. Exhale, let's windmill it down. Step it back for a vinyasa or down dog. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Right leg flies, let's take it all the way through. Back foot comes flat, warrior two. Awesome. We'll start to come into a wide angled forward fold. So when you're ready, you can either have the toes, let's actually try this. Let's do the toes slightly pointed out for this first one. Little micro bend in the knees, okay? Take a moment here. Awesome. And then when you're ready, let's find a forward fold. You can always grab blocks if you need them. Let's inhale, halfway lift. Hands can come to the thighs or to the hips, and then come all the way back up. Awesome. Big bend into the knees now. Come into a goddess squat. Okay. Try to tuck the pelvis here. Engage the low belly. Hands can come to a mudra or to heart center. And let's just find a little pulse. Noticing the breath. Last 5, 2, 1. Come all the way back up. This time, let's parallel the feet. Okay, and we'll find our forward fold. Just kind of noticing maybe the change in where you feel the stretch when the toes are slightly pointed out versus parallel. I'm feeling this more in the center of my hamstrings. Just taking notice, release the neck. Inhale, halfway lift. We're gonna come into Skandasana. So the right toes point slightly out. We're gonna come, and the left foot turns towards the left corner. Okay, and then we're gonna bend into our right knee. And you can stay up high. It can also look like this. Okay, or you can come down low, just kind of depending on where you're at. Beautiful. Let's take it over to the other side. Stay high or come down low. Beautiful. Let's take it one more time on each side. So if you're staying up high, that's perfectly fine. If you're down low, if you want a little challenge, maybe come all the way down to a seat and then work your way back to the other side. Find a little challenge if you'd like. And down to a seat. We'll make our way back to the top of the mat when you're ready. Taking a vinyasa or just stepping back to downward facing dog, we'll take a breath. And from here, let's shift forward into a plank pose. Let's take the feet about hip distance or a little wider. And then from here, we're gonna rock over to the right and then over to the left. Just a couple times on each side. Awesome. Then from here, we'll take it back over to the right side. And this time, if you can, maybe stack it up side plank. You always have the option here to bring the left foot over like a little kickstand. Awesome. Let's try that on the other side. Back to center. Downward facing dog. Let's take a breath. Awesome. From here, let's step the right foot towards the outside of the right hand. Left foot to the outside of the left hand. Grab a block if you need it. We're going to come into Malasana squat. So you can always place the block underneath the seat for a little support. Okay. Just settle down into it. Maybe drawing the hands to heart center, using the elbows here. And again, just kind of encouraging a little bit more of a stretch. Sitting up nice and tall. Noticing the breath. Slowing it down. From here, we'll plant the hands. We'll lift the hips. We'll take the feet just parallel. Keep the width though, and we'll come into a forward fold. Coming into ragdoll. So option here, maybe grabbing opposite elbows. And again, if those hamstrings are still pretty tight, bend the knees, okay? And then start to work towards straight leg, okay? Just at a level that feels comfortable in your body. You can find a little sway side to side if you like a little bit of movement. Start to plant the hands. We'll step it back. Again, moving through a vinyasa if you'd like, or just meet us in downward facing dog. And then from here, we'll step to the center of the mat. We'll cross the ankles, just coming into a seat. If you've got a strap and you're using it, go ahead and just have it handy. And we'll come into Janu Shirshasana. So let's first start off by extending the right leg out, left foot to the inside of the thigh. So making almost like a 7 shape with the legs. Okay, for this first one, let's just kind of start to fold forward. Just noticing you can stay up on the hands if you need to. And then slowly start to walk it back out. If you're using a strap, go ahead and grab it. And this time we're going to shift the torso so that we're over the leg, keeping a nice micro bend in our right knee. Toes are flexed. Okay. Now option here, maybe using your strap around the ball of the foot. On an inhale, lead with the heart. Okay, exhale, folding over our right thigh. On your exhale, see where you can soften, release. On an inhale, look forward. Go ahead and remove the strap. Option here to find a little back bend. So placing the left hand down, lift the hips, reach back. And then we'll bring ourselves all the way back down, extending both legs out in front. Maybe jog the knees up and down. We'll find Dandasana. So hands are down by the glutes. Legs are extended out. Remember a little micro bend in those knees. Pushing down into the heels, toes are flexed. Lead with the heart. Slowly start to release. We'll take it into the other side, so extending the left leg out this time. Right foot to the inside of the thigh. And then from here, let's just fold forward. You can always use a block or a bolster. And then we'll slowly start to transition into the other side, shifting the torso over the leg. If you're using your strap, go ahead and grab that. Get a nice deep inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, lead with the heart. Can you soften through the kneecap? On an inhale, we'll look forward, slowly unwind, taking both legs out in front. We'll jog the knees up and down, reset. And then we'll go into a wide-legged forward fold. So I'm just going to turn so that I'm facing you. So it doesn't really matter, it's whatever's comfortable in you, as wide as you go. Okay, so just get comfortable there, maybe remove some flesh, sitting up nice and tall. Okay. And then if you want to use a bolster or props, you can grab those. And again, we're leading with the heart. So maybe coming down to the hands, to the forearms. You can keep a nice flat back here, or if it feels comfortable, you can start to round through the upper spine and drop the head. Maybe notice how it feels as you push down into the heels, engaging the legs. And just using our breath. With every exhale, where can you soften? On an inhale, slow with control, and all the way back up. Bringing the legs out in front, finding a little bit of movement, and then we'll find our forward fold. If you've still got your strap handy and you want to use it, go ahead and grab it, placing it around the balls of the feet. Again, sitting up nice and tall, take a breath. As you exhale, leading with the heart. You always have the option here to bend into the knees a lot. Maybe eventually working towards straight legs. With every inhale, can you find a little bit of length? As you exhale, can you soften? Just trying to make each breath count. On an inhale, let's look forward, slowly unwind. Shake it out. Awesome, let's twist. We'll plant the right foot down, right hand comes behind. You can just hug this knee in and stay right here, or taking the elbow to the outside of the knee. On an exhale, we'll slowly unwind. And we'll come into a little hip series here. So when you're ready, we'll take the right ankle across the left thigh. Okay, and maybe you just want to hang out right here. This is a great place to be. Or start to plant the hands, plant the left foot down, and coming into our figure four. So this can be where you stay. Keep those right toes flexed. And kind of play around with this left foot and placement of that. Find a little movement. If you do want to take this a little bit further, we'll go ahead and come into fire log, double pigeon. So again, keeping those left toes flexed, or both feet flexed, sitting up nice and tall. Okay. And then if this knee is not quite all the way down, you can always support your knee there with a block. Okay, and if this still feels okay and you'd like to go a little deeper, keep rooting down through the sit bones as you start to walk the hands forward. Okay, maybe coming down to the forearms, maybe dropping the head. But wherever you're at, just breathing, thinking of your happy hamstrings. Give them a lot of love and encouragement today to lengthen. When you feel ready, we'll slowly come out of it the same way that you came into it. So planting the left foot down, extending the left leg out, back to where we started. And we'll take it into the other side. When you're ready, let's find that twist. So left foot plants Maybe we're hugging the knee in. Maybe we're taking the elbow to the outside of the knee. The gaze can just stay here with the chin right above the chest. If it feels okay on the neck, maybe you start to look over the left shoulder. Slowly start to unwind. And then taking our time on this side. One side is probably uneven, a little tighter than the other. That's okay. That's why we do yoga, create balance in the body. So we're starting here with just the ankle right above the knee on the thigh. Okay, keeping those toes flexed. Stay here or plant the hands and the right foot down. Play around here, just kind of noticing. It's a great place to be. Or we'll start to parallel the shins. And again, removing a little bit of flesh there, sitting up nice and tall. Again, if you would like to support yourself with a block underneath here, that of course is an option. If it still feels okay and you'd like to fold forward, keep rooting down through the sit bones. Maybe just taking this time here to give back to yourself. Forward folds are a great way just to bring some of that energy back to you. Let's take 3 more really intentional breaths here. Making your way back out of it, same way we came into it. Draw the knees up and down. Awesome. And from here, we'll start to move onto our backs. And just take a moment here, hugging the knees into the chest. Maybe taking the hands behind the thighs once more. Noticing how those hamstrings are feeling. Awesome. Taking the knees in, maybe finding a happy baby. Hands come through the center, grabbing the outside edges of the feet. Awesome. Bringing the knees back to center, hugging them in, and finding another rock side to side. And then from here, let's keep the right knee in. We'll extend the left leg back out. And we'll turn this into a twist. So taking the knee across the body, cactusing out the right arm, and the gaze follows. And back to center. Keeping the left knee in this time, extending the right leg out. Taking the knee across the body, twisting gaze to the left. And slowly coming back to center. And then feel free if there's a pose that you'd like to throw in, any more asanas that are just calling to you right now. We always have the opportunity at the end of class to just move the body intuitively. We didn't do a lot of back bending, so maybe a bridge pose, just your time. And when you are ready though, we will start to set up for Shavasana. So, whatever you need, just taking a moment here to set up, get nice and cozy. And when you're ready, making your way to final Shavasana. Just letting go of the breath, letting go of the practice. Just taking this time here to just resonate with all of that goodness that we did. Hopefully finding some length through the legs. Start to soften through the face and the jaw. Softening through the shoulders and the arms. Softening through the belly. Maybe a gentle tuck of the tailbone, making sure the small of the back is pressing firmly into the mat. Soften those legs. Final Shavasana. We'll slowly start to bring some movement back to the body, wiggling the fingers and the toes, maybe rolling out the wrists and the ankles. And then we'll slowly start to draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze, thanking your body for all of its hard work and for taking the time out to practice. And when you're ready, rolling over to your right side, using your right arm as a pillow. We'll take a pause here. And slowly, with control, making your way back up to a comfortable seat. We're in no rush, take your time. Drawing the hands either to the knees or to heart center at Anjali Mudra. Maybe lifting the corners of the mouth up into a smile. And taking that with you, it's been my pleasure to guide you. Namaste.